I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. Folks, I do believe that we're turning the corner. In the past few days, I've seen some things that give me hope. To start out, here in Colorado, two of our carbon-dated members of Congress, Hickenlooper and DeGette, are struggling to find votes in our caucuses. In fact, Hickenlooper is pulled out of the caucus. Now, there hadn't been any announcement of him dropping out, so I'm guessing that he's going to petition on. If he's stuck in the caucus and didn't get enough votes, he couldn't do that. Hick and DeGette are both getting trounced by younger, more progressive candidates who are expressing the same frustration we feel, and they're promising to fight with more than just strongly worded letters. Hick and DeGette are left staring at their sundial wristwatches and wondering if their time is up. This is happening because activism works. When people see your activism in any form, from protests to calling elected officials and talking about it, to any other way that you can think of, it builds community. And people in a strong community will fight for their community. That's why Colorado's caucus turnout has almost doubled for Democrats. Our party is being flooded by activists who are giving the old guard the boot. Now, it's too soon to definitely say, but this looks like maybe part of a nationwide trend to rejuvenate the Democratic Party with younger, progressive, populist Democrats. And the icing on the cake is this. Do you remember several weeks ago when I was ranting about D.C. do-nothing Democrats? I told you about the House and Senate rules. I talked about how they could be using them to gum up the works. Well, maybe those D.C. Dems are recognizing an anti-incumbent wave starting to build. Because those Dem leaders have dusted off the rule books. And they're using them to stop the SAVE Act and force hearings on Trump's Epstein Fury war. It's better late than never, boys. But it's still not going to pull your bacon out of the fire. Ain't that right, Buster? They're looking at how well young Dem challengers are doing, and they're scared the good old boys club is being dismantled. Folks, it's possible that we'll drag the Democratic Party away from the consultants and back to Main Street in a single election cycle. That makes me happier than Athena with a new rock. Meanwhile, Republicans are showing cracks. Independent voters are pulling back, and even some traditional Republicans are starting to step away. That's what happens when chaos gets too big to ignore. When I think about how very possible it is that the November election can be a giant step forward, I can't help but smile. Activism matters, and we're starting to see what happens when it works. Thanks for listening. Good day.